Hello and welcome to Coping with Donald. I'm Phil. Um, in a moment, I'm going to go into why I think Donald Trump is going to be impeached over the tariffs. And but first, I want to talk about a good example. This is just one of many, many examples of the swamp that's going on in Washington right now, out of the grift that's going in Washington right now. Nothing's been drained. These guys are the swamp. They are the swampiest swamp we've ever had in Washington. And people would mindlessly go about around saying, drain the swamp. These guys are. I'm just going to give you one example. Recently, I might even have brought this up about the bridge in Michigan. The bridge in Michigan that's going to go into Windsor, Canada. Canada. And there is one other bridge in that area that goes across. It's called the Ambassador Bridge. It's privately owned, and it's always clogged with traffic, which is why Canada wanted to build another bridge at their expense. Donald Trump came out and said, we want ownership of the bridge, we want these terms, blah, 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 otherwise they can't use it. Well, what people are not saying is that the owner of the Ambassador Bridge, called Howard Lutnick, one of my least favorite people in Washington right now, and they had a conversation, and the next day there was $1 million donation to a Republican PAC, and Trump comes out and says he doesn't want that bridge to open. This is going on over and over and over. The new board of peace that Trump wants to head, which is kind of like me heading the board of fancy suits, uh, he wants, I believe, $1 billion, and I don't know if that's annual or just a one-time fee for people to join it, for countries. Now you can go to the meetings apparently, but to be a permanent member, you have to pay $1 billion. To me, that just kind of reminds me of people going on to Amazon Prime, or getting a Costco warehouse card or something. But anyway, that's the deal. This country is now in the business of using threats and promises of favors to get money, which either goes right to Donald Trump or goes into the political groups that support Republicans to keep this whole thing in motion. Donald Trump is here to get as much as he can. He's not here to represent you. He's not here to be your president. He is here to get rich and, at the same time, stay out of jail. Scott Bessent the other day, now that the tariffs are overturned, possibly American families could each get $1,200 or $1,300 back. Somebody on a talk show asked Scott Bessent, do you think Americans are going to get money back? And he actually had his hand. He looked so elite. Remember when they used to call the Democrats the elite? Scott Bessent had his hands in the shape of a pyramid and very snobbily said, well, that's not going to happen. Oh, yeah, he represents me too. Not that I actually deserve any money back except for the tariff on coffee. So you might be able to give me $100. This Iran war is going to be very expensive too. I don't know where Trump thinks he's getting the money from, but he'll try to do everything he can to keep people from getting a free meal. But he wants to go to war with Iraq. He gives money to Argentina. He's devoted money to this peace board from the United States without the approval of Congress. He keeps going around Congress. And that's where the problem is. That's why he's going to be impeached. Because Donald Trump has, and they say he learned this from his gurus back in the day. I'm talking like 40 years ago. Never admit you were wrong about anything. Never admit a mistake. And Donald Trump has stuck by that his whole life. He has never said that he made a mistake with anything. It's always somebody else's fault if he has to even admit that something is bad. Okay, like he's running around saying the prices are lower and the economy's great. And when I went to the store the other night, a 64-ounce container of Heinz ketchup was over $9. Okay, a big box of, I think it was Honey Nut Cheerios, is over $9. That's without any discounts or anything. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. Um, so he cannot admit that the tariffs were a bad idea. He can't even admit that tariffs are paid for by Americans. He keeps saying other countries are paying them, which is wrong and incorrect. But it always comes back to the example I have that of him saying that drug prices are going to go down 900% because of him, which is mathematically impossible. And he'll wear a hat while he's saying it that says Trump was right about everything. The man would argue that 2 plus 2 equals 5 while wearing a hat saying Trump was right about everything. So he can't admit that there's a problem with these tariffs and that they've hurt Americans and hurt the economy. Our growth came in at 1.5% for the last 3 months in year over year instead of the 3% that economists were predicting. That is a huge miss. Now, he won't blame it on the tariffs. He will blame it on the shutdown. He's always got something to blame it on. However, he will not back off the tariffs. In fact, he said yesterday, I'm going to have 10% tariff on everything. Today he woke up and said, make that 15. Okay? He is violating the Supreme Court order. I know there's some rule that they uncovered that Donald Trump never knew about until somebody told him about it, okay? Where he can, for about 5 months, he can put a tax on for economic reasons. But he can put tariffs on. Sorry, not tax. Well, they are tax, but he can put tariffs on. But only for 150 days. Then he has to go to Congress anyway. Why not go to Congress now? If he waits 150 days and then he goes to Congress and Congress knocks him down and then he says, oh, none of them are patriotic. These people are going to be going to election day 3 months later. His Republican buddies, okay? 3 months later. I wonder why they can't give the money back. Is it because Donald put it in a bank account somewhere? It's his behavior that raises this question. So anyway, I think they're going to have to impeach him, and the Republicans are actually going to have to vote for it in large numbers. I believe this is going to happen. They cannot deny that he is ignoring the Constitution of the United States when he took an oath to uphold and protect it. There's just no way around it. Even 2 of his 3 Supreme Court justices agreed with that and against him. The one that stuck with him was Kavanaugh and his beer kegs and Squee and all his buddies. So that's what I think is going to happen to Trump, and it again will be all his fault because he can't admit he's wrong. He can't admit he made a mistake. This is a character flaw in him that will never go away. Comment below, like and subscribe. Have a good day. Coping with Donald, Phil, I'm out.